Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are here for the 4:30 matchup: Fairgrove Eagles versus the New Heights Cougars. 40 minutes on the clock. Varsity game first. We'll follow that with a JV half as long as we can survive the varsity match. Fairgrove has the opening kick. They're working right to left on the screen, east to west. Number 11, Jacob Schertz, the second team All-State player from a season ago, taking the kickoff, playing up top for the Eagles. That's the whistle. We're underway. Eagles drop it back to the defensive mid, number 12, Harp. Harp played wide over to Schertz. Nangle defending. Schertz turns. Schertz plays the ball across the box, and Boney has to tap it out the end line for an early corner kick for the Eagles. Schertz over for the corner. Low ball in. Ball's loose in the middle. Edson gets a touch to poke it away. Cougars clear all the way up to Ben Schumacher on the far side. Schumacher being defended by Devin Greek. Knocked out of play, and it's a throw-in for the Eagles. Ball thrown down the line, headed in the air by Titus Clevenger, and out of play, another throw for the Eagles. Ball in. Schertz drops back to number 3, Bletcher. Stolen by Clevenger on the pass wide. Clevenger into the middle for Dunaway. Dunaway has some room. Plays a good through ball, but deflected away by the midfielder for the Eagles. That was number 19. Or actually, that's number 18, Schlack. Challenge in the middle of the field. Bletcher comes away with it. Brandon Schumacher comes up to pressure. Played wide to Greek. Clevenger comes in and steals. Clevenger back to connect to Schumacher. Brandon Schumacher looking for the ball up ahead. Again, stolen by the midfielders of the Eagles. Challenge with Greek and Schumacher. Clevenger comes in and steals again. Ball poked away by Greek. Brandon Schumacher comes in on the challenge, knocks it wide, and a throw-in ruled a deflection on the Eagles. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Has Clevenger there to take the throw, looks for Ben Schumacher, drops it for Brandon. Brandon Schumacher plays it to the corner for Ben. Number 12 is Harp defending. Schumacher trying to get to the edge, cuts it back. Schumacher to the top of the box. Still on the ball as Harp defends, plays it back to his brother Brandon. Brandon plays the ball into Clevenger. Clevenger gets a touch. Back to him at the top. Clevenger with the left. And the keeper, Wes Hart, there to scoop up the ball. Hart out on the roll to the near side to Miller. Dunaway steals, gets it to Edson. Edson with the chip back to Dunaway on the near side. Number 10 steps in. That's Whitehead. Schertz plays Whitehead in as Brake challenges back. Whitehead turns, plays it across the box. Challenge in the middle. Falls to number 2. That's Fuller. And Fuller shanks it wide of the goal. Goal kick upcoming for the Cougars. Eagles with an early opportunity with the corner kick. Cougars with an early opportunity at the top of the box with a shot on goal. Stewart takes the goal kick into the middle of the field. Goes over the first line, falls to Schumacher. Ben Schumacher there has 2 defenders in front. Plays the slot in for Meningus. Meningus takes the shot and skies it over the goal. Goal kick for the Eagles. Center back Harp takes the goal kick. Low ball in. Falls all the way to number 10, Whitehead. Up to Schertz. Schertz able to turn. Plays Whitehead through. Brake there challenging. Whitehead's able to step in. Brake stays in front. And Edson comes in to help and clears it to the sideline. Throw in for the Eagles. That's all the way out of the perimeter into the parking lot. Whitehead chasing for it. Tyler Whitehead is a sophomore midfielder. Throw into Jacob Schertz. Back to Whitehead. Break. Deflects it away. Back to Schertz on the corner. Schertz across the box. Heavy touch. Takes the shot as he chips it over. And it's a goal kick for the Cougars. Beautiful day today. It's about 65 degrees. Hardly any wind. Great day for soccer. Rush Stewart there to take the goal kick. Back spinning ball towards the middle of the field. Dunaway gets ahead forward to Schumacher. Ben Schumacher's out in front. Schumacher being challenged by number 12, Harp. Schumacher in the box, takes the shot, and Ben Schumacher scores the goal. And the Cougars take the early 1-0 lead. Nice opportunity right off the goal kick. Dunaway got that header into the attack for Schumacher, able to get it into the box and take the shot far post. All right, back to the action. Well played to the back line. Boney is able to win it down, gets it to Edson. Edson turns it wide for Nangle. Nangle as the left fullback, plays it back into the middle of the field. Fletcher steps up to win it down. Over to Fuller. Fuller down the line to Greek. Greek tries to keep it in. Clevenger comes in to steal. Clevenger trying to turn on the sideline. Ball out of play and a throw for the Eagles. Quick throw into Schertz, who chips it forward for Greek. Back into the middle. Boney steps, plays it wide for Clevenger. Clevenger is able to win it off the deflection from Fuller. Clevenger into Brandon Schumacher, connecting back to Clevenger on the wing. Left foot down the line, deflected out of play by Fuller. And it's a throw for the Cougars. Lucas Nangle there to take the throw. Plays it short for Clevenger, ball deflected. Number 3, Bletcher plays it over the top. Horton heads it back to the middle. Schertz there, trying to turn. Plays it into the middle for Bletcher. Brandon Schumacher steps in to deflect. Ball falls back to Schertz. All the way to the near side for number 24, Reidinger. One touch by Harp to the near side, and that's over the top of number 6, Colton Miller, the sophomore midfielder, and it's a throw-in for the Cougars. Ruben Brake there to take the throw. Big throw down the line. Meningus heads it forward. Ben Schumacher's able to receive it. Schumacher plays Nixon Meningus through. Meningus at the top of the box. Gets another touch, deflected across, blocked by Harp, and cleared away. Edson there in the middle to win it. Jax Edson gets it up to Dunaway. Ball falls to Brandon Schumacher, or Ben Schumacher, who plays it over to Brandon. Brandon cut it back to the middle, looking for a strike. Ball deflected away by number 18. That's Schlack. Again to Schumacher. Horton plays it back in all the way up to Ben. Touch to Clevenger on the far side. Clevenger tries to play it across the box, deflected by Reidinger. Brandon Schumacher back to the ball. Reidinger steps in and deflects it to Schertz. Schertz able to possess in the middle, plays it to the near side for Miller on the run. Break steps, Miller gets through the challenge. Over to the far side to the near side for Whitehead. Edson on the double, is able to steal it away. Edson with control, gets it back to Brake. Brake trying to play it down the line. Whitehead goes in on the challenge and knocks it out of play. Throw for the Cougars. Ball into the parking lot. Brake now has it. Brake takes another good throw down the line, gets over the head of the first line. Number 24 is Reidinger. Played into the middle for number 3, Bletcher. Up to Schertz. Jacob Schertz on the ball as Clevenger comes back to help. Touch wide to Fuller. All the way to the corner for Greek. Greek able to keep it in as Nangle comes to challenge and deflected away by Nangle. It's a throw for the Eagles in the far side. Ball into Schertz. Schertz trying to turn, being doubled by Clevenger and Schumacher. Schertz to the edge. Clevenger stays in front. Ball deflected, and it's a resulting corner for the Eagles. Number 11, Schertz over for the corner. Number 6, Colton Miller on the backside. Ball in short. Ball deflected, and Stewart's there to make the save off the second deflection. Stewart quickly out to the middle of the field. Number 24, Aiden Rittinger, plays it back into the middle. Edson gets the touch. Miller on the near side, being defended by Meningus. Chipped into the middle. Dunaway gets possession, finds Brandon Schumacher. Schumacher gets a touch head, stolen away by Schlack. Deflected by Dunaway. Schertz plays it into the middle, back to number 3, Bletcher. Bletcher into the attack, top of the box, takes a strike. Boney's there to deflect. Clevenger comes in to help clear. Nice clear all the way up to Dunaway. Dunaway with a good touch to space, trying to play Schumacher in. Good ball to the corner. Schumacher and number 12, Harp, go for it, and Harp clears it away. It's a throw in the attacking third for the Cougars. Nice ball by Dunaway to create that break, put it to the corner of the box where it made it really difficult for the keeper, Hart, to come out and challenge for it. Finn Harp, the center back, challenged on the play. Ruben Brake all the way down to take the throw. Brake plays it short to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher being challenged by Whitehead. Tries to turn, plays it across the box. Clevenger's there for it. Goes over the top as Clevenger tracks back. Clevenger looking at his options. Finds Horton on the cut. Bletcher steals. Clevenger chasing back. Touch into the middle, able to play it back to the back line to Brake. Brake possessing to Dunaway. Dunaway with a touch to turn. Plays Clevenger with space in the middle. Clevenger heavy on the touch and deflected away by number 18, Schlack. Edson plays it back into Dunaway. Dunaway chips it to the near side for Brake. Brake carrying down the line. Brake looking for the split, finds Edson. Edson from the top of the box, poked away again by number 18, Schlack, and a throw in for the Cougars on the near side. Ruben Brake down to take the throw. All the way up to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher touch, trying to turn. Schlack there defending. Schumacher across the box and goes through everyone. Nangle on the backside gets a touch to settle. Tries to chip it in with his right, deflected away by Greek. Nangle challenging for the ball. Greek up ahead. Ball into the middle. Brandon Schumacher there to steal and shields. Schumacher turns it back to the middle. Plays it into Titus Clevenger. Clevenger turning into the box. Clevenger with the left and chips it over the goal. Goal kick for the Eagles. Good possession by the Cougars as they're spacing the field really well in the attacking half. Harp plays it to the far side on the goal kick, and it's all the way out the sideline throw for the Cougars. Clevenger quickly into Brandon Schumacher. Schumacher pushing ahead. Able to find Dunaway. Dunaway cross to Edson. Edson lets it run, plays it over to Brake. Number 6 is Miller in front. Brake trying to get through. Miller gets the push off and able to possess. Plays a dangerous ball across the middle. Brandon Schumacher heads it in. Number 12, Harp, clears it away. Ball falls to Whitehead. Edson steals. Plays it back in. Meningus there. Meningus and Rittinger. Challenge for it. Rittinger's able to get up to Whitehead. Ball across sloppy. Brandon Schumacher there to steal. Schumacher to the box. One more touch. Plays it across. Deflected away by Schertz. Schertz comes in with a heavy challenge. Dunaway goes for the hold. Pretty risky challenge by Schertz in the box, and then Dunaway just took him out with a hold. Ref just gives him a warning. Harp there to take the restart. Back spinning ball into the middle. Clevenger there. Gets a touch ahead. Possessed by Fuller. Fuller to the wide side for Greek. Angle in front. Poked back into the middle for Fuller. Grant Fuller cuts it back across the field. Ben Schumacher tracking back, able to win it. Schumacher chips it up. Finn Harp there to settle. Chips it back into the middle of the field. Dunaway there to steal. Dunaway, nice touch to space through the double. Wide to Clevenger. Number 17, Connor Ridginger there to defend. Connor Ridginger steals, plays it into the middle. Horton there first. Plays it all the way back to the keeper, Stewart. Stewart clears it on the one-touch. Good ball up to the far side. Ridginger heads it in. Schumacher deflects. Fight for the possession. Poked in. Clevenger there to steal. Clevenger plays the switch. Good ball into Meningus. Meningus takes the one-touch and just wide of the frame. And a goal kick for the Eagles. Looks like 4 subs coming in the game for the Eagles. Actually, make it 5 subs, 6 subs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like all 6 players subbed in for the Eagles. Goal kick stolen by Clevenger, chips it over the top. And the keeper, Wes Hart, is there to grab it. Big punt by Hart. Boney heads it into the air to the near side. Number 3 is Bletcher. Bletcher to the ball, carrying it across. Touched in by number 5, Hart. Devin Greek. Rake's able to steal. Tries to play it down the line, deflected away by Greek, and it's a throw for the Cougars. Break there deep in the defensive third, takes the throw down the line. Number 14, that's John Peak, deflects it off of Bletcher and back to the Cougars for a throw. Break there again for the throw for the Cougars. Big throw up ahead to Schumacher. Ben Schumacher's able to settle it. Nice turn through the double. Schumacher out ahead, one-on-one. Schumacher makes a move into the box. Takes the strike and just over the goal. Had the near post corner. It looked like it might have a chance, but just kept rising over the goal. Goal kick for the Eagles. Another good opportunity for the Cougars in transition. Goal kick played to the far side. Clevenger gets the deflection. Gets it up to Schumacher. Schumacher trying to turn, clips it back to Clevenger. Clevenger looking to set up an action, plays it across for Meningus. Meningus and Peak go for it. Peak's able to deflect it away. Ball falls to Schumacher. To Brandon Schumacher with a strike. Peak there to win it. Brandon Schumacher back to the ball at the top of the box. Takes it with his left. Deflected again by Peak. And out of play for a corner kick for the Cougars. John Peak, number 14, the senior defender. I remember him from last year. Takes a lot of balls off the chest, able to stand in there and win tough challenges. Ben Schumacher there to take the corner, back spinning ball, floating in. Headed away by number 13, Tim Barber, the junior defender, and it's another corner kick for the Cougars. Justin Boney, the center back, has come all the way up to the top of the box for the header opportunity. Lower ball in this time. Again headed in the air by Barber. Ball's loose. Boney there. Meningus back heel. Still loose in the box. Peak tries to clear. Brandon Schumacher there takes the strike. And Schumacher scores the goal. And the Cougars take the 2-0 lead. Schumacher takes that knuckleball in. It looked like it may rise over, but knuckles in and finds a spot in the top of the goal. .21:16 on the official clock. 2-0 is the lead for the Cougars. Restart of action. Number 7 is Elliston. Played to the far side for number 13, Barber. Ball played into number 5, that's Hart. Hart touches in. Back to Elliston. Elliston trying to turn to the edge. Horton in front defending. Elliston tracking back on the drop. Plays it all the way back to Barber. Barber sends it in, and Stewart's there to scoop up the ball. Lane. Stewart with the punt to the near side. Meningus is there along with number 3, Bletcher. Ball falls to Peak. Peak with the left plays it high into the air. Brian Ramos in the game. I didn't actually see him sub in. He goes to ground, tries to win it, and that's a good call. He's trying to play it from the ground in kind of a dangerous position. Indirect kick for the Eagles. Schertz plays it all the way across for number 13. That's Barber. Brandon Schumacher comes up to challenge. Ball's loose in the middle. Number 7, Elliston, back over to number 19, Tennyson. Stolen away by Brandon Schumacher, who plays it over the top for Ben Schumacher on the run. Number 8, Johnson, Macklin Johnson, clears it to the near side. That's not going to go out of play as Ben Schumacher gets there, Peak defending. Schumacher's able to step on the ball, plays it back to Ramos. Ramos with the touch, back into the middle, stolen away by number 3, Bletcher into the counterattack. Brandon Schumacher chasing back as Boney drops and Horton comes. Nice job by Boney winning it with his shoulder on the shot attempt. Challenge in the middle, and Nangle gets called for the foul. It'll be a dangerous spot for a free kick for the Eagles. Number 11, Jacob Schertz, went to ground. Take a look at that challenge again by the Cougars. As looks like Nangle got a little bit of his leg there on the challenge and tripped up Schertz. Four-man wall for the Cougars. Schertz over the ball about 25 yards out to take the free kick. Into the wall. Brandon Schumacher on the far side able to get to it. Schertz comes into challenge, knocks him off the ball. Brandon Schumacher fights back for it. Nangle down the line. And a throw in for the Eagles. Oh, they're calling a free kick. Back spinning ball in. Stewart, nice job getting to it. Reaches up and wins it. Stewart with a throw to the far side to Nangle. Nangle, good touch to settle. Chips it over to Spencer Jackson. Jackson and Ramos must have subbed in on the last goal. I didn't see that sub. So Clevenger and Edson subbed out. Nangle wins possession, plays it down the line for Ben Schumacher. Schumacher in possession. Schumacher cutting across, still on the ball. Plays it to Dunaway. Over to Brake on the near side. Brake carrying, plays it to Meningus. Meningus gets through the challenge. Still in, plays a good ball across. Ben Schumacher goes for the one-touch volley and plays it over the goal. Goal kick for the Eagles. All right, Eagles making their sub change back as number 12, Finn Harp back to take the goal kick on the restart. Heavy touch back into the middle. Number 7 is Elliston. Ball played into the middle. Horton wins the touch, but back to Elliston. Played wide, but ahead of Fuller, and that's a throw for the Cougars. Nangle takes the throw into Clevenger. Clevenger tries to chip it over the top for Jackson. Cougars also subbed on that last play. Clevenger and I'm not sure who else came out, actually. Clevenger's back in the game. Schumacher gets tripped up and draws the foul, and it'll be a free kick from about 30 out for the Cougars. Brandon Schumacher, maybe just Brandon subbed out as Clevenger came back in. Clevenger and Meningus on the backside at the 18-yard line. Ramos and Dunaway at the top of the box. Schumacher takes the chip in to the top. Meningus gets a head on it, falls forward, but nobody's there to clean it up, and the keeper Hart able to gather it. Top spinning ball back into the middle of the field. Goes over the first line. Tennyson chasing. Boney there, and Boney smartly plays it out to the sideline. Throw in for the Eagles as the Cougars reset. Caden Tennyson, the freshman midfielder, takes the throw in to Elliston. Played to the corner, but too heavy as Tyler Whitehead chases, but it's a goal kick for the Cougars. Under 15 left to play here in the first half. Cougars leading 2-0. Stewart takes the goal kick. Good ball. Back spinning to the middle. Shouldered down by number 8, Johnson. Ramos chips it in. Dunaway there to challenge. Dunaway chips it to the near side for Brake. Stolen by Whitehead, but Brake repossesses. Brake, good ball over the top for Schumacher to chase. Schumacher challenges, able to get there on Johnson. Meningus plays it back into the corner for Schumacher. Johnson comes in on the challenge and knocks it out for a goal kick for the Eagles. All right, restart with the goal kick. Brandon Schumacher back in the game. Bouncing ball in. Elliston there, plays it wide, and I don't think that's where he wanted to go with it. Out of play, throw for the Cougars. Nangle takes a throw into Brandon Schumacher. He's able to turn. Schumacher chips it in for Dunaway. Dunaway into the attack, finds Ben Schumacher. Schumacher gets tripped up and foul called on the Eagles. Yellow card. It looks like it's just, okay, stop the clock on the yellow card. It looks like it's just outside the box, though. Dangerous spot for a free kick for the Cougars. Five-man stack at the top of the box for the Cougars. Then Schumacher over the ball to take the free kick. Cougars pushing up as the Eagles aren't holding the line. Schumacher off the wall, loose to Brake, and Brake can't control it. Whitehead's there to clear. Ball back in the middle of the field. Brandon Schumacher there with his chest. Plays it back in. Elliston there. Back to Elliston. Played wide. Over to Fuller. Clevenger challenging on Fuller. He gets through. Clevenger steps in. Good touch by the Eagles into the attack. Elliston plays it over the top to the near side for Whitehead. Brake comes up to challenge. Brake, nice steal. Plays it down the line. Peek's there to possess. Peek carrying to space. Plays a good ball in, but nobody's there to connect, and Stewart's able to grab it on the bounce. Stewart to the far side for Clevenger. Possessed by Fuller. Fuller tries to turn back to the middle. Clevenger gets a deflection. Elliston comes in with Dunaway. Elliston able to possess. Dunaway pokes it away up to Schumacher. Ben Schumacher in possession, plays it back to Dunaway. Dunaway looking for Schumacher over the top, plays it wide to Clevenger. Clevenger to the top of the box. Nice cut to the line. And number 12, Harp, is there to clear it away. Big clear to the sideline. It'll be a throw for the Cougars. Challenge on the sideline. Looks like a foul is called on the Eagles. It'll be a free kick for the Cougars from maybe 25 out towards the sideline. Titus Clevenger there to take the free kick. Meningus in the middle of the box being defended by number 14, John Peak. Looks like the target for Clevenger. Clevenger plays it in low, and I don't know what the intent was there, but goes right to Hart for the scoop. Number 19 is Tennyson. He's able to turn, but loses it to Boney. Meningus gets the header up. Number 8, Macklin Johnson. Meningus back to the ball, able to turn. Meningus, good ball across. Ball falls to Ramos. Plays it back to Schumacher. Turn and score, dude. Back to Dunaway, who chips it in, and off the mark. Goal kick for the Eagles. Jax Edson back in the game for Brian Ramos. Nice minutes by Ramos. Finn Harp there to take the goal kick. Plays it to the far side. Sneaks through to Nangle. Nangle plays it down the line for Clevenger, but off the mark as number 17, Connor Rittinger challenges. Clevenger's able to win it. Tries to cut it back, and it was out of play first. It's a throw-in for the Cougars. I'm sorry, it's a throw-in for the Eagles. Rittinger takes the throw down to Bletcher. Brandon Schumacher deflects. Bletcher back into the middle onto the attack. Clevenger makes the tackle. Falls to Elliston. All the way across for Miller. And Horton clears it out the sideline. It'll be a throw for the Eagles on the far side. Miller takes the throw in to Ty Hart, the freshman midfielder. Over to Bletcher. Knocked away by Clevenger. Another throw for the Eagles. Restart with the throw. Ball is to Hart. Hart plays it down into the corner. Nangle there to shield and lets it go out of play on the end line. It will be a goal kick for the Cougars. Oh, they're calling a corner kick. Boy, I didn't see that. That's a big decision. Nangle let that roll out and roll into the corner. Okay, ball sent in. Deflected back to Whitehead. Over to Bletcher. Nangle's able to clear. And it's a throw for the Eagles. Whitehead back into Bletcher. Across to Elliston, who plays it in. And rolling in, Stewart's able to settle it. Stewart quickly out to the near side for Meningus. Meningus with room to carry. Peak comes up to challenge. Meningus gets the touch by. Cut back into the middle. Meningus out on the attack. Elliston steps in. Number 19, Tennyson tries to clear. Meningus gets the tackle up to Schumacher. Peak defending. Schumacher and Peak into the corner. Schumacher's able to win it. Schumacher gets called for the foul. Hart plays it back into the middle of the field for Elliston. Across to Bletcher, who plays it into the attack for Miller. Miller with the ball across the box. Edson and Whitehead there. Jackson is able to clear it to the near side as Jackson Dunaway gets to the ball. Drop back to Brake. Brake plays it up ahead into the middle of the field, all the way up to Schumacher. Schumacher's able to track back to win it. Schumacher playing Meningus in. Meningus chasing to the corner. Harp there and gets a touch on it, out of play for a corner kick for the Cougars. Under 7 to play here in the first half. Cougars leading 2-0. Ben Schumacher over to take the corner on the near side. Boney coming up to help Meningus at the 6-yard box. Eagles have a player on either post. Schumacher with a side spinning ball in, goes over the first line, headed down by Whitehead. Falls to Brandon Schumacher, plays it back over to Ben Schumacher on the near side. Schumacher sends it back in. Meningus with the head, falls to Clevenger, and saved by the Eagles. Number 3, Bletcher able to control it and leave it for Hart to pick up. Hart with the top spinning ball. Brake steps back to win it, chips it back over the top for Dunaway. Dunaway settles, able to turn, plays to Clevenger. Clevenger able to turn into space, into the attack. Clevenger goes down and draws the foul, and it's a free kick for the Cougars from 30 out. Good spot for a free kick, far enough away that you can get it over the wall and back down. Three-man wall for the Eagles. Schumacher takes the strike and saved by the keeper, Wes Hart, into a corner kick for the Cougars. Schumacher over to the far side to take the corner. Meningus up, being defended by Peak at the far post, about 6 yards out. Side spinning ball in. And foul called on the Cougars. It's a free kick for the Eagles. Junior Finn Harp, the center back, there to take the free kick for the Eagles. Top spinning ball. Clevenger first to touch, chips it back into the middle. Dunaway comes to win it. Dunaway wide to Clevenger. Clevenger chips it back in. Hart clears it away. Edson's there, I'm sorry. Brandon Schumacher to the near side for Brake. Brake carry into the corner. Swings and misses, gets back to the ball. Gets through. Good ball across for Meningus. Meningus on the follow. Still loose. Clevenger puts it in. And the Cougars take the 3-0 lead. Good persistence by the Cougars. Brake after swinging and missing stays on the ball. Plays a great ball across for Meningus. Meningus gets a second bite at the apple. And Wes Hart, after his second save, ball falls to Clevenger for the finish. Back to the restart of play. Ball played into the middle. Edson gets the header. Falls to Bletcher. Jack Edson there to steal. Ball played to the near side. Number 17, Connor Riddinger. Wide to Tennyson. Ball's loose for Meningus. Meningus looking to play a break on the overlap. Ball deflected. Falls back to Meningus Caden Tennyson, the freshman midfielder, there to deflect it away, and it's a throw for the Cougars. Good throw up to Dunaway. Dunaway's able to possess. Dunaway, nice turn into space. Plays Meningus in. Wes Hart's there to read it, steps out off his line, and slides in to win the ball. Hart with a good driving ball. Boney with his shoulder wins it down. Tennyson over the top. It's a little too heavy as Stewart's able to get to the top of the box to win it off the hop. Stewart with a good side spinning punt into the middle of the field. Bounces over the first line. Ben Schumacher's there to receive it. Chips it over to Dunaway. Dunaway into the attack. Challenged by number 24, Aiden Rittinger. Over to Clevenger. Clevenger back to Dunaway. Dunaway with time. Plays it into Brandon Schumacher with space. Schumacher sends it in for Meningus. And nice job by the defender, number 17, Connor Rittinger, to shield Meningus from an opportunity to get to the ball. Ball up to Tennyson. Edson comes to challenge. Edson pokes it away. Over to Meningus. Meningus shielding. Poked away by Connor Rittinger, and it's a throw for the Cougars. Grayson Crumrine checking in for the Cougars as Jackson Dunaway takes a break. Brandon Schumacher moving to that attacking mid as Crumrine comes into the defensive mid. 1:30 left to play here in the first half. Cougars with a 3-0 lead. Ruben Brake takes the throw into Meningus. Poked away by Whitehead, and last touch by Meningus. Throw in for the Eagles. Whitehead takes the throw into Bletcher, who chips it into the air. Number 19, Tennyson, plays it ahead. Boney's able to get enough on it to get it to Brake. Brake, good ball up to Brandon Schumacher, has space. Schumacher looking for an option, plays Meningus in on the cut. Meningus gets to it, plays it across the box. Clevenger just over his head. Still in play. Number 24, Aiden Rittinger, over to get to the ball, and knocked out of play by Ben Schumacher. Throw in for Edinger. Back to Harp. Harp side spinning ball up ahead. Nangle wins the header down. Into space. Number 3, Bletcher connecting to Miller. Miller over the top for Devin Greek to chase, and Horton smartly clears it out the sideline. 20 seconds remaining here in the first half. Eagles chasing to get the throw in. Ball into Miller. Miller's able to turn. Miller loose with the ball, but doesn't get the last touch as it goes out the end line. It's a corner kick, but that's the end of the first half. And the Cougars go into halftime with the 3-0 lead. We'll put 10 minutes on the clock. We'll take an audio break here as we go through the first half recap, and we'll be back for the start of the second half. All right, we're back. Second half, getting ready to start. Cougars going right to left here in the second half. Going east to west. .40 minutes on the second half clock. Jackson Dunaway appears to be playing up top here to start the second half. Ben Schumacher dropped back to a midfielder position. Ref checking to make sure everyone's ready, and that's the whistle. Second half underway. Drop back to Ben Schumacher, chips it into the corner as Meningus chases. Miller defending. Ball is loose. Meningus able to get to it and keep it in. Meningus drops back to Break. Break touches it ahead. Ball's loose and cleared away to the sideline by the Eagles. Throw in for the Cougars upcoming. Break there takes the throw in. Falls to Edson. Edson dropped to Dunaway. Dunaway all the way back to Boney. Shirts pressuring. Boney makes the touch across for Horton. Horton with the left into the middle of the field. Miller drives it in. Too hard off of Whitehead. Miller chips it back into the middle for number 3, Bletcher. Boney on the ground. Back to Miller. Up to Whitehead. Back to Shirts in the middle of the field. Shirts trying to split the double. Gets through. Into the attack. Still on the ball. Shot by Whitehead off the crossbar. And Horton's there to sweep it away. Dangerous opportunity right off the opening kick for the Eagles. Fletcher on the ball. Clevenger gets in to win it. Loose in the middle for Schumacher. Brandon Schumacher there. Looks for Meningus. Plays Meningus on the run. Meningus gets a touch on the head forward, but all the way into the box, and the keeper Hart there to pick it up. Big punt into the air. Over Dunaway. Nangle settles all the way back to the keeper, Stewart. Stewart driving to the near side. Clevenger's chasing for it. Clevenger able to keep it in on the line. Possessed by the Eagles into the air for Shirts. Over to number 2, Fuller. Fuller across the box. Boney clears away with his left. Greek able to keep it in, plays a good ball across, and Stewart's there to win it. Stewart quickly out to the switch to the field for Meningus. Meningus gets the touch to try to connect in. Number 18, Schlack, plays it back in. Edson gets a touch poked away by Miller. Up to Whitehead. Edson comes in. Whitehead back to the ball. Looking for an option. Gets through the first challenge. Whitehead carrying it across the field. Back to Ryan Bletcher. Over to Fuller. Fuller cuts it back. Gets it into Whitehead. Dunaway deflects. Clevenger clears. All the way to the middle. Whitehead and Schumacher challenge. Whitehead gets the turn. Up to Shirts. Shirts pokes it through. Whitehead deflects. And Horton gets called for the handball. It's a penalty kick for the Eagles. Let's take a look back at that on replay. All right, opportunity for the Eagles to get on the board. Jacob Shirts there and puts it in. And the Eagles claw one back. All right, 3-1 now the score. Cougars take the kick. Schumacher plays it all the way in. Wes Hart there to grab it. Top spinning punt back into the middle of the field. Whitehead deflected by Dunaway. Clevenger with space. Clevenger gets through, plays it into Meningus. Good ball into Meningus. Meningus tries to poke it through. Meningus still on the ball, plays it to Dunaway. Dunaway cuts it back into the box. All the way back into the midfield for Schumacher. Played over to Brake. Brake possessing, gets it to Clevenger down the line. Number 17, Connor Ridinger there to defend. Clevenger's able to cut it back. Being challenged by Miller, and Clevenger grabs him and gets called for the foul. Finn Harp takes the free kick into the middle of the field. Touched first by Bletcher with the header, falls to Fuller. I'm sorry, that's to Greek. Stolen by Brandon Schumacher, Ben Schumacher up to Brandon. Brandon Schumacher in the attack, being defended by Miller. Schertz comes in on the double. Schertz able to steal it as Schumacher comes in and challenges. Schertz turns down the sideline, cut back to the middle of the field. Plays it wide, but Brake is there to steal. Ruben Brake carrying, makes a touch wide. Miller is able to knock him off the ball and repossessed by the Eagles. Harp with the back spinning chip into the middle. Boney heads it all the way up to Clevenger. Clevenger chips it wide for Dunaway. Greek defending. Dunaway drops it back to Nangle. Back to Dunaway. Greek and Dunaway challenge. Clevenger gets the touch back to Horton, or to Nangle, I mean. Nangle connects to Ben Schumacher. Schumacher being defended by Schertz. Loses it out of play, and a throw for the Eagles. Number 2, Grant Fuller there to take the throw. Ball into the middle. Fletcher drops it for Schlack. Hart plays it over the top for Whitehead to chase. Boney in front as Brake comes to double. Brake able to deflect. And what in the world? Handball called on Brake. Take a look at that in replay. That's a terrible call. All right, chance to get a second goal back. And it's 3-2. All right, 3-2. Restart a play. It's a game. Ben Schumacher plays it to Brandon for the play in. Falls to Schumacher. Schumacher into space. Takes the strike and knocked away by Hart. It's a corner kick for the Cougars. Ben Schumacher to the near side for the corner kick. Chipped in. Meningus there. It's loose. Brandon Schumacher there to finish, and off the side of the goal. It's a goal kick for the Eagles. Hart takes the goal kick to the near side. Aiden Ridinger gets the touch, but Clevenger comes in to steal. Clevenger keeps it in on the line. Back to Dunaway. Dunaway with space. Steps on it and touches it back to Clevenger. Clevenger in, and Schlack clears it away. That's in there to get a touch. Whitehead challenging. Whitehead's able to steal. Plays it to the far side for Miller. Miller, big ball in, deflected off Whitehead. Miller challenging on the far side as break comes in. Ball's loose in the attack. Touch back to Schertz. Brandon Schumacher steps in to defend. He's able to win it. Plays it wide to Meningus. Meningus looking for the ball over the top, just too heavy. And all the way into the box for Hart to grab. Hart punts it to the near side. Number 2, Fuller gets to it. Clevenger in front to defend. Fuller able to get through. Clevenger deflects it away, and it's a throw for the Eagles. Grant Fuller, the senior, there to take the throw. Plays it down the line. Dunaway deflects. Another throw for the Eagles. Ball to the corner. Greek and Nangle challenging. Nangle gets back to his feet and able to clear. Strike by Fuller. Out the end line. Goal kick for the Cougars. Stewart takes the goal kick, back spinning ball to the far side. Miller heads it into the air. Meningus there to settle. Meningus and Miller challenge for the ball. Miller chips it back into the air. Whitehead and Schumacher. Brandon Schumacher chips it to Dunaway. Dunaway back to Brandon Schumacher. Schumacher can't control the touch as Miller comes in and deflects. Over to Bletcher. Dunaway deflects right to Schertz. Over to the near side for Fuller. Clevenger comes in. Clevenger gets the steal. Able to shield. Clevenger making a dribble move, gets back to the middle, and draws the foul. Playing clock. All right, so after that scuffle, both Fuller and Clevenger get yellow cards. All right, the restart before the whistle, so we're resetting here. Dunaway plays it across the field for Edson. Edson turns, plays it up to Brandon Schumacher. Schumacher looking for space, gets it wide to Break. Break has room, plays it across for Meningus. Meningus at the top of the box, chips it for Dunaway. Dunaway settles, finds space for the shot, and Dunaway puts in the banger. And the Cougars take the 4-2 lead. What an answer by the Cougars. Jackson Dunaway buries it in the near post. 28-15 official time on the clock. Cougars back to a 2-goal lead. Restart a play. Ball all the way back to Boney. Boney chips it to the near side. Shirts in. Shirts with his left, and Stewart's right there to make the save. Stewart to the near side for Nangle. Nangle, good ball into Dunaway. Dunaway on the run, plays it for Jackson down the line. Spencer Jackson cuts it back. Back to Jackson Dunaway. Finds Brandon Schumacher with plenty of space in the middle. Schumacher thinking about it, plays it across for Meningus. Deflected by Miller, and it's a corner kick for the Cougars.
Go Cougars, keep it up.
Ben Schumacher over to take the corner on the far side. Ben Schumacher, side spinning ball in. It's loose. Dunaway there to settle. Finds Horton. Horton gets a touch ahead. Dunaway with his left and sends it over the goal. Goal kick for the Eagles. Peek back in the game for the Eagles as Elliot Schlack takes a break. Finn Harp, ball into the middle. First touch by Elliston. Meningus comes up to challenge. Meningus steps in to win it. Shielding him off the ball, drops it back to Edson. Edson has a challenge from behind, able to get to space. Whitehead comes in to challenge. Stolen back to Shirts, who plays it down the line for Whitehead on the run. Boney, nice touch to clear it away. And a throw in for the Eagles on the far side. Miller takes the throw in. Whitehead there. Break deflects off of Whitehead. He's able to keep it in on the corner. Left-footed ball across for, that's number 5, Hart. And sent in Stewart there to win it out of the air. Stewart setting it up. Side spinning punt to the line. Meningus chasing. Headed in the air by Connor Riddinger. And out of play, throw in for the Cougars. Break there to take the throw. Ball over the top. Harp attacking. Horton gets a touch. Whitehead. Break. Challenges from behind and commits the foul on the push. It's a free kick for the Eagles. Jacob Shirts over the ball to take the free kick. Schumacher brothers there to form the two-man wall. Shirts chips it in. Whitehead gets a head on it. Still loose. Jackson's able to poke it to the sideline. And out of play. Throw in for the Eagles. Hart drops it back to number 7, Elliston. All the way back to the back line for Peak, who curls it in. Headed in the air by Miller. Over to Hart. Hart trying to settle with his chest, drops back to Tennyson. And Tennyson strikes it over the goal. Goal kick for the Cougars. .24 minutes left to play. Cougars with the 4-2 lead. Stewart to the far side. Miller deflects. Over to Whitehead. Break challenging. Whitehead gets through the challenge into the corner, tries to cut it back. Still on the ball, chips it in. Horton heads it away to break. High into the air by Miller. Shirts trying to settle out of the air. Spencer Jackson comes to challenge. Shirts to the ball. Jackson in front defending. Jackson, Shirt's able to get through the double. Plays it across the box. And number 5, Ty Hart there, takes the one touch and chips it over the goal. A goal kick for the Cougars. Stewart there to take the goal kick. Good ball into the middle of the field. Peak gets the first touch for the Eagles. Falls to Meningas, who chips it back in, all the way up to Schumacher. Ben Schumacher able to turn. Peak comes to challenge. Schumacher out on the run. Schumacher carrying to the corner. Back to Dunaway. Dunaway back into Jackson. Tries to touch it for Schumacher. Schumacher back to it. Let's go get the easy ones. Ball touched ahead. Boney there, clears it to the sideline. Eagles take the throw into Shirts. Jackson trying to defend. Nangle comes in. And foul called on Nangle. Free kick for the Eagles from about 18 out, wide of the box. Ball chipped in. It's loose. Break clears. Horton there. Nangle clears. All the way back to Aiden Rittinger. Into the middle of the field for Elliston. Sent in, and Stewart's there to fall on top of it. 21-10 remaining. Stewart throws it out to the near side for Nangle. Nangle cuts it back. Nangle tries to find Ben Schumacher. Jackson comes in to win it. Drop back to Dunaway. Dunaway connects to Brandon Schumacher in the middle. Schumacher finds Ben. Ben Schumacher to Brandon, carrying down the near side. Drop back to Dunaway. Dunaway plays it across for Edson. Ball rolls through. Whitehead gets a touch in the attack. Boney goes to ground to win the tackle. Boney down the line. Meningas gets to it to keep it in. Actually, it is called out. Throw in for the Eagles. Subs coming in for the Eagles. Big throw down the line. Greek tries to turn, break, deflects, gets it to Meningas. Meningas tries to play it across, deflected away by Shirts, falls to break. Break down the line for Ben Schumacher. Miller steals, gets to Shirts on the turn. Drop back to the back line to Harp. Over to the near side for Rittinger. Up to Bletcher. Dunaway in front. Bletcher carrying into the middle. Edson steps and deflects. Ball falls to Elliston. Drops all the way back to Harp. Schumacher comes to challenge on Harp. Harp still on the ball. Harp clears it down the line. Good ball up ahead to Shirts, but Shirts can't control it. And out of play, back to the Cougars. Lucas Nangle takes the throw into Spencer Jackson. Gets a touch back into the middle. Shirts steals. Ball played across for number 3, Bletcher. Over to Elliston. Horton, nice step to win it. Chips it up to Ben. Peak comes in aggressively and clears it down the line. And out of play back to the Cougars. 18:20 to play here in the second half. Cougars with a 4-2 lead. Horton steps and clears. Over to the far side, number 17 is Connor Rittinger. Over to Miller. Into the middle for Elliston. Elliston all the way back to the back line to the near side for Aiden Rittinger. Ball down the line. Challenged by Nangle. That's number 5, Ty Hart. Nangle goes to the ground to win the challenge on the tackle. Ball falls to Elliston. Back to Finn Harp, who sends it over the top. Ball bounces in. Brake tries to clear, heads it into the air. Shirts there. It gets a touch. Shirts takes the shot, and Stewart gets a touch on it and jumps on top of it to make the save. Rush Stewart with the ball. Punts it to the far side. Bounces through the first line. Schumacher and Peak there. Peak deflects off of Schumacher, able to win it into the attack. Chipped into the air by Devin Greek. Cleared away by Boney. Peak back to it, clears it to the near side. Number 3, Bletcher back to the ball. Nangle comes in to deflect it away, and a throw for the Eagles. Titus Clevenger back at the line to check in for the Cougars. Jax Edson checking out of the game as Cougars are making a little rotation here. Clevenger going in up top, it looks like, as Ben drops back to the midfield. Harp takes the throw in. Nangle gets the deflection off of Shirts, and a throw in for the Cougars. Lucas Nangle there to take the throw. Clevenger checks 2. Clevenger gets defended from behind by Bletcher, who pokes it away. Throw in again for the Cougars. Nangle throwing down the line, headed in the air by Bletcher. Up to Shirts. Shirts to the dribble juggle, gets through the challenge. Nangle challenging, Shirts down the line. Schumacher comes in. Free kick for Shirts. Ball sent far side. Greek chases to it. Meningus there in front. Meningus able to deflect. Greek still fighting for the ball. Meningus able to win it on the turn. Up ahead to Clevenger. Ball goes through the line. Harp's there, lets it roll as Clevenger comes to challenge. Clevenger gets a deflection. Harp able to turn. Clevenger still fighting for it. Played to the near side for number 18, Schlack. Spencer Jackson comes to challenge. Ball up ahead to Bletcher. Carries to the middle of the field. Brandon Schumacher in front, played across for Elliston. Ben Schumacher pokes it away. Schumacher and Elliston there. Ben Schumacher able to win it on the turn. Schumacher through the challenge and draws the foul, and a free kick for the Cougars. Ben Schumacher there to take the free kick from just beyond midfield. Ball chipped in. Peak with his chest. Nangle challenges for it along with Ty Hart, and a throw in for the Eagles. Sub at the line to check in for the Eagles. Devin Greek taking a break as number 10, Tyler Whitehead, back in the game for the Eagles. Ball into Bletcher. Jackson in front defending. Played down the line. Nangle there. And Nangle clears it out into the fan section. Quickly taken into Whitehead. Horton, nice step to win it. Plays it to the far side for Meningus to chase. Number 17, Connor Rittinger down the line. Ben Schumacher comes in to steal. Schumacher patient on the ball. Plays it back to his brother Brandon, who chips it over the top for Meningus. Rittinger wins the header. Miller touches it back for Meningus. Meningus drops it for Ben Schumacher. Schumacher gets through the challenge. Stepped by Connor Rittinger, gets the steal. Up ahead to Whitehead on the far side. Errant pass stolen by Dunaway. Dunaway into Ben Schumacher with room to turn. Whitehead comes on to challenge. He's able to win it. Ball down the line. Shirts there, being challenged by a break. Shirts holds up play. Finds Whitehead. Chip back in. Break defending. Shirts across. Ball loose. Dunaway steals. Finds Ben Schumacher there. Schumacher plays the chip over the top. Headed in the air. Meningus heads it back in. Peak heads it away. Meningus chases to the sideline. Number 17, Connor Rittinger there to challenge. Meningus able to win it to turn. Carrying across the middle. Challenge falls to Ben Schumacher, who plays it into Clevenger. Peak challenging from behind as Clevenger's able to win it back. Over to Meningus. Meningus dropped to break. Break down the line, stolen away by Colton Miller. Meningus comes in on the challenge and wins it back. Nixon Meningus into the attack and gets pushed from behind, and Meningus draws the foul, and a card is issued. Stop the clock. 11:25 on the clock as the Cougars will get a free kick from a dangerous spot. Schumacher's going to ask for space, I believe. Ben plays it to Brandon, who chips it in. It's loose at the top. It's still loose. Peak trying to clear. Nangle comes in and buries it. And the Cougars lead 5-2. Lucas Nangle wouldn't give up on the play, able to finish it for the goal. Take a look at this ball sent in. Hart got a touch on it, deflected off the crossbar. Nangle gets the clip over the top. Peak tries to clear, and Nangle comes in and buries it. Ben Bandy checking in the game for the Cougars as Lucas Nangle takes a break. Actually, it looks like Nangle's going to stay in the game. Someone else must have subbed out. Didn't see. Oh, Nixon Meningus subbed out. Schlack plays it over the top. Whitehead heads it back to Boney. Boney lets it roll as he plays it to the far side for Nangle. Break comes into challenge. Devin Greek to the ball. Greek with his left foot plays it into the box and out the end line. Goal kick for the Cougars. Grayson Crumrine checking in the game as Titus Clevenger gets a break. Stewart with a good backspinning ball into the middle of the field. Greek gets a touch, falls to Dunaway. Dunaway and Peak challenge for it. Dunaway's able to win possession. Drop back to Crumrine. Crumrine on the ground. Peak wins it for the Eagles. Down the line as Dunaway deflects. Back to Peak. Plays it ahead. And Horton clears it to the sideline. Throw in for the Eagles. Fletcher there to take the throw. Ball into Elliston, back to Bletcher. Horton clears to the sideline, and another throw for the Eagles. Shirts jumped the barrier, landing on the blacktop. Kind of a dangerous thing to do in these wet conditions with cleats on. Shirts to the ball. Jackson in front defending. Shirts gets through the triple team. Horton gets a touch. Falls to Elliston. Drop back to Bletcher. Bletcher sends it in, and Stewart's able to get to it for the save. 9 minutes to play. Cougars with 5 goals from 5 different players. Stewart punts it to the far side. Ball falls to Break. Break down the line. Deflected to Nangle. John Peake comes in, gets a touch into the middle of the field to Elliston. Ball played across for Bletcher. Ben Bandy comes up to challenge. Bletcher trying to make the turn to the end. Chips it over the top. Good ball. And Stewart gets knocked into the goal. They're calling a foul there. Stewart will. Are they playing a drop ball? I'm not sure that's the right. Stewart taking some delay of game tactics. So it was a foul call, so it's not a drop ball. It's a ball on the ground. All right, restart with the goal kick, or the free kick from a goal kick area. Stewart into the middle of the field. Dunaway gets the first touch. Elliston, 2 shirts. Drop back to Aiden Rittinger on the near side. Ball played down the line for Hart, but off the mark, and a throw in for the Cougars. Ben Bandy takes the throw into Crumrine. Deflected by Bletcher to Hart. Hart into the attack. Horton comes on the challenge and commits the foul, and it's a free kick for the Eagles. Two-man wall for the Cougars. 3-man wall. Shirts plays it in. Ben Schumacher's able to head it away. Ball to Greek. Nangle steps in and commits the foul. And a free kick from a dangerous spot for the Eagles. Call it 25 out. Tyler Whitehead over the ball to take the free kick. Good ball in, and Stewart makes the leaping save to touch it over the goal. It's a corner kick for the Eagles. 6 minutes to play. 5-2 the score. Jacob Shirts, the junior forward, over to take the corner kick. Floating ball in, headed into the air by Whitehead, and Stewart's able to rise up and grab it. Rush Stewart throws it out to the far side for Nangle. Nangle can't settle as it falls to Elliston. Elliston into the attack to Hart. Hart turns. Crumrine in front. Hart's able to cut it back. Brandon Schumacher defending. Nangle steps in. Ball into the end line and knocked out a play. Goal kick for the Cougars. Rush Stewart there. Plays it to the far side. Nangle tries to keep it in, but it's out for a throw for the Eagles. Ball into the middle. Harp there. Finn Harp plays it to the near side, but too heavy over the top of Bletcher for a throw in for the Cougars. Ben Bandy takes a throw into Crumrine. Shirt steals. Bandy steps into challenge. Horton defending. Bandy's able to deflect it, and Horton clears it to the sideline. Throw in for the Eagles. Fletcher takes it quickly to Elliston. Well played across. Dunaway chips it in. Dangerous ball, and Horton clears it to the end line. Corner kick for the Eagles. Jacob Schertz over to take it on the near side. Floating ball in and over the top of the goal. It will be a goal kick for the Cougars on the restart. 3:30 to play. Stewart takes the restart in the middle of the field. Elliston first to touch. Ben Schumacher there to steal. Schumacher looks for Nangle on the run. Nangle has some room in front. Greek challenging from behind. He's able to step in. Nangle stays on the ball. Drop back to Ben Schumacher. Over to Nangle. Nangle sends it in, but wide of the frame, and it's a goal kick for the Eagles. Quick restart to Finn Harp to carry out as Dunaway comes in to challenge Jackson there. Harp tries to poke through. Dunaway comes in and steals, looking for an option to connect a pass. Dunaway to the sideline, gets pushed from behind, and foul called on Harp. Two minutes to play. Free kick for the Cougars. Dunaway up to Ben Schumacher at the top of the box. Schumacher gets to turn. Schumacher takes the strike and doesn't get much on it. Oh, it snuck through. And it's a goal for the Cougars. Sometimes you just get lucky when you take the shot. Take a look at that on replay. Ben Schumacher gets space, takes the strike, and it just goes right through the wickets of the keeper. Ben Schumacher subbing off. Brian Ramos checking in the game for the Cougars. Restart of play. Dunaway steps in. Ball to Jackson. Stolen back by Hart to the near side for Bletcher. Ball across for Elliston. Elliston's able to turn. Looking for an option. Plays it wide for Schertz on the far side, on the near side, and Ben Bandy there to defend. Pokes it out of play. Throw it back in for the Eagles. Up to Hart. Hart trying to turn into the middle. Ramos comes in and deflects. Falls to Dunaway. Dunaway looking for an option. Plays it to Bandy. Bandy clears over the top. Aiden Ridinger back into the middle. Break there. Chips it into the middle of the field. Whitehead back to track it down. Whitehead to the near side for Schertz. Schertz able to find space in the middle. Into the attack. Horton, nice win as he just blocked the opportunity to go through, holding position. Fletcher over to Hart. Horton stepped all the way up to defend. Hart on the turn. Dunaway steps in front to help. Over to Elliston. Loose ball as Nangle comes in. Nangle gets the nice tackle away. Chipped back in by Schlack. Over to the far side for Greek. Nangle goes down and foul called on the Eagles. Will be a free kick for the Cougars. Just 20 seconds left to play. Maybe the last play of the game, as Stewart will be able to milk the clock on this restart. Stewart down the line, 5 seconds to play. Need away, and that'll do it for the game. Final score, Cougars 6, Eagles 2. All right, I don't know if we have enough daylight for the JV half. It's very overcast tonight, which makes it seem darker than normal. I think we'll have to wait and see. The Eagles didn't seem to have any bench besides what they had playing in the game, and the Cougars also played their whole bench, so this may just be a varsity matchup. Well, neither of us have anyone left on the bench after the game, right? We both played our whole team. Just varsity only. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's it for us tonight. Just the varsity game. So we'll send you through the second half recap as we close out. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will. I know we had some issues with the stream quality. I'll make sure I get the recording posted tomorrow morning at a higher quality.